What is up, guys and gals? It's me, Thomas Fan01 here, and today I got something special for you guys. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Retro release, Walmart exclusive, Deluxe Class Seaspray. Now, real quickly, this guy is a Walmart exclusive, so if you guys are planning on getting this guy, you do have to go to a Walmart. I don't know what the equivalent is over in Europe and the UK, or even over in other countries such as Indonesia. I genuinely don't know. So you all know the rules, though. We're not going to take a look at this first. We take a look at the packaging, and I think they did a really good job trying to recapture that G1 packaging. Like, seriously, they had this here. It pretty much is the G1 packaging, just with a few things tweaked. I mean, seriously, they just redid the they put this version of Seaspray on the packaging, and it's a deluxe class and size. So I mean, yeah. Anyways, on the back here, you've got everything from Generation 1 and 2. So yeah, there is all of that on the back. So, and there is the tech specs of everything if you are interested in that. So, anyways, packaging now going off to the side, and let's lower the camera in here because we all have to be able to see what the figure looks like and how things go. And I gotta say, this is quite a nice release. I was honestly not expecting this in the slightest. Considering the fact that this came out this year and we're getting a wheelie next year in the retro release, I think this is quite a nice, decent little figure. So anyways, taking a quick look in here, we got the Autobot insignia on there, and I gotta say, it is a little hollow in here, just a little hollow, but it kind of does fill out in the robot mode, so yeah. There's all of that's going on here. Let's take a quick look at the back. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do about this head showing through, and it is not accurate to the packaging. So real quickly, on the packaging, it shows that he has the painted face skull, the painted mask and eyes, and around the eyes. That is not what it actually looks like in robot mode. And if you guys actually saw the live stream, you guys know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, he does come with a gun here, and it's just a generic little gun, and it is parts effects compatible. So if you do have your blast effects, you are able to slap them on the top there. And he does have a little port here, and there are little pegs right here, so on both sides, so you can't, or not on both sides, I guess, so there's only on one side. We're learning things on camera. I thought there was another peg on the other side, but apparently not. However, there are multiple different ports if you don't want to leave it there, so you can totally stick it on here, and totally stick that right there. I mean, same thing on this side and this side, so just can't post it right there. But as per everything else, it wants you to place it here. So yeah. Alright, now let's get this guy into scale comparison, then we'll get into the transformation, final thoughts, and then we shall rank the figure. So, anyways, here he is with the Legacy United G1 Optimus Prime, which I suspect they will do a retro release of this guy soon. Here he is next to Velocitron Speedia Cosmos. Here he is next to Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, which I kind of am surprised that they did the release with the Netflix Bumblebee instead of this Bumblebee, but hey, you know, not Hasbro. Here he's next to the Studio Series 86 Brawn, which this is the that's the blown up version of Brawn. So from the Ratchet 2-pack. And finally, here he is next to Commander Class 86 Optimus Prime, and I gotta say, I quite dig the way that this looks. I'm very excited to see these two in the cabinet together. So, let's move this out of the way. And now we shall get into transformation. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna remove the gun, and you're gonna set it off to the side. And then we're going to basically just kind of come to the front here and open this up just a smidge. You're going to open these up just a little bit, and then these ones you're going to just push all the way back into the legs, like so. Then you're going to come to this section here. You're going to untab it, and that's just kind of going to loosen things up a bit. Bring this down, and it kind of well, you know what this is going to be. It's going to be the arm. Just take it, rotate it, and that's pretty much you got Seaspray's arm. So do the same thing on the other side. You're going to untab it, bring it down, rotate it, arm almost done. Then you're going to come to these pieces, which do come undone occasionally when you do this. So open those up and bring all of this out. They are on a double hinge, which you do want to use and utilize. So there's that, and then we will clean this all up in a moment here. So take this, double hinge it forward, and they do tab in to tab everything together. So do be aware of that. Now make sure these come all the way back, fold this all the way in, do the same thing on the other side. We had those folded out, but they decided to fold back in. Fold that back up, take this piece, fold that in. Actually, there. Take it, fold it in, take this piece, fold that in, and then take this one and close that up like so. Don't worry, we're getting to the torso. Take these bits, you're going to bring them up just a little bit, but first you're going to want to rotate this all the way around, then you're going to bring this all the way up. And, well, maybe don't bring it all the way up, just kind of angle it just a little bit, so that way we can untab this. And this is why this is the problem that I ran into on the live stream. So, but anyways, we're going to bring the legs down after you untab them from this port here. Do the same thing on that side there. And then all of this is just going to kind of double hinge all the way around. Well, maybe not all the way around, but double hinge up. Then take these ab sections, bring them all the way in. And take this panel here. You're going to bring it all the way down. And then you're going to take this whole section and you're just going to take these arms first and you're going to bring these all the way up on these rotator joints here. And then you're going to shimmy this all the way down in on itself. And you want to make sure that those ports, or maybe not everything, so hold on here, let me just, okay. I do not like this ab section. It seems to want to just fall apart every time. So, but what you're going to do is you're going to make sure these sections go into these slots here. So have it all just fit into the pegs and the slots like so. And then this kind of just collapses down, tabs itself back in, and solidifies that all around. Take the head, rotate it like so. And then, are we almost done? We are almost done. Yes, we are. Take it, straighten everything back out, and then bring the gun back in. Oh, there we go. And just pop that into place, and there you have Deluxe Seaspray in his robot mode. And I gotta say, Hasbro, you keep knocking it out of the park with these mini bots. Like, holy cow, I was not expecting you to literally drop a banger of a figure like this. And take note, I'm not a real big fan of this ab section. Like, let's just be real here. This ab section is just garbage. At least this one is. I don't know why it's just this one. This one seems to be just fine, but the other one, this one seems fine, but this one's not. I don't know why that is, but then again, I'm not Hasbro to make those choices. So, anyways, that being said, one thing I do want to get into before we get into the... actually, we'll get into scale comparisons first, and then we'll get into the final thoughts, because this is part of the final thoughts that I will continue with. So let's get him into that, then we'll get into final thoughts, rank the figure, and end the video. So here he is next to the Legacy United G1 Prime. Here he is next to the Velocitron Speedia Cosmos. Here he is next to Studio Series 86 Brawn from the 2-pack. And finally, here he is next to Studio Series 86 Commander Class Prime. So yeah, and yes, I have seen the pictures and images for the Skybound version that they're going to be releasing next year, so I have seen it. I'm not going to be picking it up. Although I do think it looks cool, I don't think it's justified for the price point. So, and speaking of price points, let's get into this guy real quick. Real quickly, $32. 32 USD for this guy. What are you doing, Hasbro? Seriously, what are you doing? This is not supposed to be $32. Holy cow. Every time I turn around, you guys keep hiking the price points up. Stop doing it. Barely anybody can afford what you guys sell already. So, anyways, that's my biggest gripe with this figure, is the fact that it was $32. Why? Anyways, let's remove the packaging out of the way. So, that being said, I gotta say, I'm not too thrilled about the price point. I definitely do appreciate the fact that they gave him this I gotta say, this ankle tilt is really weird. So seriously, when you get him back into hovercraft mode, this piece has to bend in a certain way just to get everything straightened out. But once it does do that, it becomes the ankle tiltage, or the ankle tilt. So I don't hate that, but I definitely do hate the fact that, again, it was $32. And $32 for this ab section to completely keep coming off? Again, $32. Why would you pay $32 for a deluxe class that's going to do stuff like that? So, anyways, he does come with a decent waist swivel. Comes with a nice 90-degree bend. The one thing, though, that I will say you cannot do is you cannot have a waist swivel properly with his legs bent forward or his hip joint pushed forward, which is, again, it's not the biggest nitpick, but it is there. Swivels on all the arms, so you do have the mushroom pegs in here, so do be wary of that. He does have a wrist movement, which I think is a little weird, considering the fact that the wrists don't really need to move when you get him into vehicle mode, so, you know, not really much of a thing there. The head is just straight up yellow paint everywhere. However, there is one thing I do want to make note. There is no light piping, but it definitely gives the impression that there is light piping, and there is not light piping in there at all. That being said, Hasbro, bring back the light piping. I miss it. Alright, so what are we going to rank this figure? Well, the price points and this stupid little ab section are going to definitely bring it down. In terms of the fact of the transformation, it wasn't total trash. I actually thought it was quite nice and enjoyable. Weapon storage is perfectly fine. Not to mention you can still store this in his robot mode right here on the side here. So there's always that you can do as well. So now I'm going to give this figure... This is going to be a weird one because this is the first out of the retro releases that I've done. But I gotta say, I think this thing deserves a 6.5 to 7. You know what? We'll go 6.75 simply because of that price point and that ab piece. Because why on earth would you pay $32 for a deluxe class figure that's going to have a terrible ab piece and be, once again, $32. I cannot stress that enough. I do not like the fact that these retro releases are over $30. And here's the catch. The only reason they are $32 is because of the packaging. Seriously, the only reason it's $32 is because of this packaging right here. Because they decided to make them almost like the G1 boxes, they had to go back in, they had to go redo the designs of the boxes just to make sure that they could do that, and they also had to basically refit them for everything. So yeah, Hasbro, $32 just for a packaging? No, I'm not thrilled about that. So yeah, I think this thing deserves a 6.75 out of 10. Simply because I don't think it really lives up to the hype of the price point. So, anyways, this is Thomas Fan01 saying, do not forget to check out Jordy's Rail videos, Patrick's Voice Rail, Riveted Railfan, Riveted Reviews, Alexander Rothschild, iStar552, Bravely GG, Take Along Productions, Kitten Cat 999, Lemon Lime Studios, Zaga the Animator, Let's see here. Let's go Autobot7177. You were in the live stream for this guy, so we'll throw your name out there as well. And oh, what the hey, we'll throw out Teo, or what was it? Ninja Teo 07. So we'll throw those guys out there as they are some friends, family, and fans of the show. So please do not forget to do that. And also, please do not forget to hit a like on this video. Don't forget that subscribe button. And also, once and finally, do not forget to keep playing with your toys. Goodbye.